Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I have already rinsed and patted dry veal neck bones, and I am going to cook them down, and I'm going to add peas and pearl onions to them. Now I'm going to add some buttermilk because we're going to add seasonings to them and I want them to stick. I would use my yogurt, but like I said, I killed it. We're just about at the point where I'll be able to make it. I thought I was going to, but it got cold again. I wasn't happy about that. Because you have to open your windows, it has to be a certain temperature so you can do what you have to do. Now you don't need a lot of buttermilk. If you have yogurt, by all means, please do, because I usually do use it, but I have to substitute. I want it coated, so when you put the seasonings on, they'll stay. That's the whole object of that. See, you don't need a lot, you just need some. This is lamb seasoning. I gave it to you a while back, but at this point, when I make it again, I'll give it to you. That's the only way I can do this. And it has mint in it, and I'm going to tell you, the mint with the veal goes so nice. Well, this is lamb seasoning, right? But I am putting it on the veal, and I just think it'll be delicious. But one of the main seasons in it is that mint. I have some recipes that actually have flour, grind flour up with the seasonings as well. Now that I have never done, but it's got my interest peaked. They use certain flours, so I'm interested in that. These are well seasoned. Flour that I used the other day. Well, I use all the time. You see me going back and forth with it. That's a bone. I'll sift this next time. I should do it now. I'm not going to. We're going to flour these. Put them on a drain, let them sit a bit. See if we need to give it an extra coat. And this one seems to have more whole wheat flour in it than anything in my flour mixture. I got these on sale. Paid half price. If I had paid the price, it would have been $12. I got almost 3 pounds for $6. stipulation was, I knew I was gonna have to cook it today. I couldn't let it sit in the freezer or anything, so I bought it and decided this is what I would have today. When you get those sales on meat, you have realized that you are on a clock with those. Because they have to move it out. They have a limit, the government gives them a time, you must sell this food. So I didn't want to stick it in the freezer. I said, no, I'm going to definitely cook it today. You see how much I got? That is a lot. Yes, there's bones and gristle on it, but when I get done cooking it, all that's gonna fall off and you're gonna see a little tiny section of bones. Now, they tell you the major bones that make blood are the long bones, but all bones have bone marrow in them. It's just different degrees of how much blood they make. That's all. Now we're gonna flour them a second time. So we're gonna let those set about 10 minutes and then I'm gonna re-flour them again. I'll have to get some whole wheat flour out. So I'll see you then. Okay, I poured some whole wheat flour here. We're gonna drench them a second time. You can see they started to come through with the flour, so it needs more. So let me drench these and then we'll get ready to start cooking them. Okay, we're gonna get our pot heated up. And here how the meat looks when you brown it twice. You see how much better it's browned? That's what you want. I need to get some more oil. This is my all blend that I make up myself because the all blend, the price they're asking for all blend at a health food store is so outrageous. So I sat there and checked out the oils and then I came up with my own combination. Sometimes you have to do things like that to feed your family. These prices are ridiculous. They took everything that we used to do in the kitchen and they have taken it away. And like Jane Fonda said, she wanted out of the kitchen. So she proceeded to burn her bra on other women and said, we're not going to take it anymore, you know. But we had a lot of rights with the suffrage movement before we were property. After that, we weren't at all. But people say, oh no, this and that. But then the rights went too far, and because of what women did, family breakup is what we have now. And no, I did not stand for women's rights in the 60s or 70s. nor do I stand for it now. That's me. But we all make these choices. My choice was, no, I am not going to follow them or believe in them. I do believe that we should mind our business and get out of other countries' affairs. But I've always felt like that. That's why I stood against Vietnam. I just think we should, I wasn't violent or anything. I didn't go to the protest. It was just something that I felt that we were wrong to go to another country. If they can't defend themselves, that's not our problem. It's their problem. They have to defend their country, but that's how I've always felt. But I didn't go out and curse cops out or the government scream and yell at them or anything. I just felt it was wrong. And my power rested in that voting booth, and that's where I did my voting, to say I was unhappy. A lot of people don't know that Hitler got the power he did through those countries, to take countries underneath him, is he made deals with them. That's what he did. He made deals. They didn't really have to fight. There was a small majority that fought, but the government made deals with them. And he said, well, we're going to come in. He said, okay, but you've got to do this for me. And that's how we ended up with all of Europe just overcast, and we ended up with that big World War II, was because countries didn't want to fight, and they just sat there and said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll make a deal with him. And Hitler did not. He kept his word to a point, but not any further. But a lot of people don't know that. And I'm just not happy with it. What can I say? I don't want you to hit this feeling, but I wanted to bring you down some. So if you know your history, you would understand. Just like Russia, it wasn't a communist country. They had a royal family, and the royal family decided that they wanted to educate, pardon the word I'm going to use, the peasants, and bring them up. But he knew that you couldn't do it real quickly. It was going to take progress getting the children in school, teaching them about government, so his country could be a free country. That's what the Romanovs wanted. Well, people couldn't wait. And they did their revolution, and they ended up killing off the royal family. And look what you have today. And it seems one of the stipulations from World War II was they had to get rid of the royal families. But England is the only country that I know of that held on to their own royal families. You see how I'm browning this? I'm not browning it in a hurry so it burns. I'm just browning it, and you can smell the flavors coming up. Now the water that I cooked the green beans and the potatoes in, we're going to use. And remember when I made the yam mashed potatoes the other day, I think? Here is the water from it, and I'm going to use it as well as my flavoring. So when you get down to the real history, you can see it. And women have lost a lot of their rights. We used to have so many rights, and we were protected. So listen, I'm going to finish browning them just like this, just the way I just showed you, and then we'll move to the next step. Okay, last pieces are pretty much brown. In the water, we just cooked the green beans and potatoes in. Gonna add it too. Don't want to waste it. Okay, this is a grain from Italy. It's a whole grain called farro, F-A-R-R-O. We are going to add this in as well. This will help thicken it up and also give us the B vitamins and stuff that we need, though I use the whole wheat flour. I'm also going to use this. Like I said, I want to show you that there are different ways you can do these things. Now you can turn the flame up now because we're going to bring this to a boil and we are going to be cooking it a long time. Because we want to get all of this meat and everything underneath it. And the fluid here. So we can sit there and cook it tender to get that gristle nice and tender that we want. If you want to do it in a hurry, which I wouldn't recommend it, but you can add a tablespoon of vinegar to it. Vinegar has a tendency to pull minerals and stuff out of the bone, or you could do a slow cook. So if you want to do it in a hurry, that's a way you can do it. But remember, it will have a slight twang to it. But the grain that I put in is going to take as long as it's going to take to cook this meat. So periodically stir it to make sure the grains don't burn under the bottom. So by the time this reduces, the grains will be done and that'll be done. And then we're going to add peas, I think, with little pearl onions to it. And cook them up. We'll add a little bit of liquid to give them time to do their number, and then we'll serve this over probably rice, which I think will be delicious. So I'm gonna I might have to have a part 2 on this. Let's see, what am I doing today? I have to think of what I'm doing. If I don't, I'll do it all in one video. By the way, I forgot to tell you, when it comes to a boil, put the lid on, turn it down to simmer because it's going to be cooking for a very long time.